So, welcome everyone for the webinar series of April month, where we want to talk about how to become free from your suffering and how to find your way out and become more resourceful rather than being at the end of receiving the impact of a situation or a struggle that is going on in the situation. Yeah. So, Priya, you want to add anything?
That's pretty straight, as in this is what we want to talk about this morning.
Yeah. So when we look at uh, different aspects in our life where we suffer or we are struggling and we have been trying all our ways, but we are not finding any solution. That's when so a situation might, go wrong and then we find all our ways to make it work. Sometimes situation changes and sometimes it does not change. And then we start feeling different painful emotions with that. And that's when, in my understanding, we start suffering because I'm not able to give up that situation or give up what I want. And at the same time, the situation is not changing. So, in a general term, we suffer. We might be feeling different emotions in that, but we constantly go around trying to make it work, but nothing is changing, is our experience, end of the day. So when you look at your own life and different aspects, we would want you to have a pen and paper with you so that you can make notes of what all the situations in your life you have seen, or maybe today you are seeing that you are suffering in those situations. Yeah, it might be money, it might be career, or maybe health. And you, no matter what you're trying with your logic, but you are not finding a solution, you are not finding freedom from uh, the problem. And when you will look at that, I think one common thing that you will understand is usually when a person wants to change something is because they are not happy with what is already happening. And when we talk to somebody, we may feel that we are in a drama of life, right? And we are constantly going around with the drama, trying to do something about it. So, this drama, when we are suffering in the drama, it has three specific roles, which brings us to understand a therapeutic term called as drama triangle. And in this drama triangle, the three roles which we have learned about so far are one is being victim. So when one person is a victim, they experience that somebody else is a perpetrator or victimizer. And the third role that comes down to drama triangle is a rescuer, somebody who wants to help the victim so that this entire drama can be ended. Yeah. Now, at times we might be a victim, or we might be a perpetrator, or we might be a rescuer or a helper. But the point is whether we are in any one of the roles, we are suffering. So instead of trying to do something about the situation, if we can identify what role I am in with this particular drama in my life or struggle in my life, then the focus can come back to the self, from where the real freedom can come, because Even if a drama is happening around there in my life, I can choose to come out of it. So I can at least take the responsibility of me not being in that particular role. Am I right, Priya? Yeah. Do you have anything to say or add here?
I think you're in the flow of, showing how any role actually ends up as a victim only. So I think just finish with the flow and then maybe I can
Fine,
add if there's something.
fine. So now, uh, the three roles that we are talking about. So victim always looks like is at the receiving end of the situation. Yeah. So they feel they are so poor in the situation, and they are paying the biggest cost. Yeah. So those are the indications of being a victim. When you feel poor me, I need help, or I need attention, something bad is happening to me, somebody else is doing this to me. All these are the indications of being a victim. And opposite a victim is a perpetrator, as I said. So perpetrator is somebody who is dominating in the situation, who's making things go their way, who is okay if somebody else is paying the price for what they are doing. Yeah, so they are okay if somebody is feeling victim of the situation because of their actions or their choices. So looks like the victimizer is in the powerful position, right? And victim is comparatively in a less powerful or weak position. And then comes a rescuer. A rescuer is somebody who sees this between a victim and a perpetrator and has a need to help the victim. They want to rescue the victim out of this situation, and then it does not remain a victim's problem, but it becomes a rescuer's problem. Yeah. And now, if you look at it, the victim is a victim until victim is not wanting to do anything to come out of it. Right? Victim will have most of the sympathy in the drama triangle, particularly from the rescuer. But when rescuer says that it is my job to rescue the victim, who is the victim here? More than the victim, now the rescuer is suffering because rescuer wants to end this situation. So rescuer feels like he is helping the victim, but in the background, rescuer becomes the victim. Yeah. And then we think that the perpetrator is more powerful. But if we look at the bigger picture, if one is able to look at the bigger picture, the perpetrator is behaving in that way because of some other trauma and the emotional baggage that they are carrying. Yeah. So they have been a victim of some other situation. And in that case, the victim who doesn't actually do anything to come out of it is not victim anymore, but they become a perpetrator to the rescuer because of them the rescuer is now going through the suffering. Yeah. So this is how in a situation we also keep changing the roles. Sometimes we become a perpetrator, sometimes we become a rescuer or a victim. So the fourth role, which is also necessary to identify, is a wobbler. How we keep changing the roles in a given drama situation or a struggling situation. Yeah. So today we want to talk about the first role of the drama triangle, that is victim. So before that, Priya, do you have anything to say at this?
Yeah, I just have one point, and I think the flow was just perfect. That the rescuer, as much as they try to rescue the victim, will, I mean, it seems like a very good role to play, like a healthy role to play. That I am helping the victim, so I doing a good job. But as much as the rescuer tries to do this, because the problem is not the rescuers, the rescuer will never be able to solve the problem.
Yeah,
Because we can only, in a way, heal and solve what is ours.
yeah,
So the rescuer will not be and will be in the victim mode more, because it's like I went to help and I'm at the end of the big bat or problem. So as much as a person feels that a rescuer is a healthy role to play, of course, when we talk about that in a separate webinar in detail, we can discuss more about that. So there are people who come and ask, what is wrong in helping? So I just had to add that.
yeah. In fact, thanks for adding that point, because when a rescuer is trying to help the victim, the as Priya said, the problem doesn't go away. Rather, it creates more problem, because it is not rescuer's problem. And now rescuer is kind of putting their nose in the victim's problem, or something which is going on between a victim and a perpetrator. So this also violates the boundaries. This is also about going into somebody else's problem and getting entangled there. So this will create even more problems, not just for the rescuer, but also for the victim and perpetrator. Yeah. So
And
at this point, yeah,
one more thing that I wanted to add is this is more of a negative spiral. That is because the rescuer and the victimizer both are telling the victim. When the victim says, poor me, they say, yes, poor you. So it is in no way empowering a victim to come out of the poor me situation. Because the rescuer says, you cannot do it and I will do it for you.
yeah, true. So at this point, I think we'll give you like 2-3 minutes, so that you can actually take a moment and think about at least one situation where you have been struggling, and if you can identify which role in the drama triangle that you're playing, or if you have identified that you are a victim of something, and that situation you want to note for yourself, because the next part of today's webinar is about coming out of the victim mode, so that the drama triangle can alter and you can uh, create the empowerment triangle.
Also, the drama triangle, like Gayatri said, can exist for situations or it can directly exist for with people. A typical drama triangle is husband, wife, mother-in-law, where generalized, I'm not saying it's always like that. The wife plays a victim and mother-in-law victimizer, and husband is expected to be the rescuer.
Yeah.
So I'm just giving an example of how a drama triangle can also be with relationships.
One such quite common but unconscious drama triangle is father, mother, and the child.
Yes.
And something is happening between the parents. The child takes side in their mind, and the child wants to rescue one of them. And yeah, then child remains entangled with the parents, not free for living their own life. Yeah. So if you have identified any such situation where you feel you are a victim, make note of it. You don't have to share it, but keep that in your awareness as you listen to the next part. Yeah, Priya.
Another example that I felt relevant was there was a client who came from a kind of a well-to-do family, but she said that I'm taken care of by my husband, and my husband, my son, my daughter, all settled. But I'm not able to create a life and a career and money the way I want. So it's like, everything is taken care of, and the husband says, "What is your need?" So she feels like a victim to earning her own income or having her own career. And the husband feels like a rescuer in that situation. So that again is a drama triangle. It's not empowering. Yeah. Because somewhere it's like, taking accountability of where am I? Where am I in that situation? And what am I looking at to rescue me?
Also, at times, when we feel victim, in our head, the perpetrator may not be a person or group of people, but it might be that life is a perpetrator, or my
Yeah.
own destiny is a perpetrator, or in general, world out there is a perpetrator for me. So we are sharing all these examples so that you are able to identify your victimhood clearly in any given situation.
Another common victimhood that we have seen is being women. That a gender itself is a victim.
Yeah.
That because so belief systems around a particular gender. That's a very subtle thing which plays in many people's life.
Yeah. So once you have identified where all you might be feeling victim in your life, and you know what are the indications, what are the signs that you are a victim or you feel like a victim. The next question should be, what can I do to come out of the victim mode? Yeah. And then how to change this entire situation instead of just blaming the perpetrator in my life. Yeah. Priya, would you like to share this part?
So, do we talk of the empowerment triangle here? Okay.
Yeah.
It's the empowerment dynamic or the empowerment triangle, where these roles get or maybe have a different name. So, the victim, or let's start with the perpetrator. The perpetrator plays the role of the challenger and challenges the victim, not victim here. We have a different name. It's called a creator. So the challenger challenges the creator, saying you can do this or you cannot do this in this particular situation. And as the name suggests, the challenger challenges the creator. Now, the creator still is in the center of the story, like the victim is the center of the person in the center of the story in the drama triangle. And the rescuer here becomes the coach, where when the creator says, I can do this or I want to do this, The coach doesn't jump to do it along with the creator, but asks the creator, how do you want to do it? Or how do you want to do it differently? So the choice always remains with the creator. And the coach supports the creator to create the reality that he or she wants in life. And then the creator is maybe in gratitude to the challenger who could see the potential in the creator. So the challenger comes from a space of creation themselves. Like in the drama triangle, they come from a place of victimization themselves. Here, they come from a place of creation themselves, and hence they know when challenged and with the right kind of support, help, coaching, the creator can create whatever is possible because I have created it. So the challenger stands in that position. The coach stands in a position of empowering the creator because the coach does not take up the creator's problem as their own. The coach tells the creator that it is your problem and you will have to ask me if you need help. And I am there for you, available. So the coach becomes the resource. And the creator can create for themselves because, and also the coach is not burdened with the creator's problem. And it is not a problem any longer. It becomes a space of creation. Yeah. So these same three roles can be looked at differently if when the victim story is removed, the poor me story is removed. Yeah, Gayatri, is there anything that you would like to add or say?
Yeah, I think this is pretty much online uh, of the flow as it goes. Uh, the only thing that I would like to say is when uh, when a victim is done being a victim of the situation, the questions that they ask themselves are different, and that's what makes them a creator. So, in a drama triangle, victims focus is on the perpetrator. He or she is doing this to me, or life is doing this to me. Now, in a empowerment dynamics, the focus comes on what is this person or this situation trying to show me? What do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? Or how do I want to feel instead of feeling at the effect of the situation? And if I want to feel that way, what can I do? How can I achieve it? Yeah. So the focus was out there. That's when the person was in victim mode. Now the focus has come on the self. What can I create? What is the best possible for me as of now? And how can I find help for that? So as Priya said, the rescuer becomes the coach. So now the victim will not go to the uh, rescuer and say, you do this for me. But when the coach is asking, the creator will say, okay, fine, I need your help for this. This is how I want to do it. And this is where I need any assistance. So it's just the shift of the focus, and the entire drama triangle can be dropped, and same situation can be used to create something new. Yeah, Priya?
Yeah. And in parenting, I feel that if we are aware, then it can be started very early on in life. Like Gayatri said, children at times play the victim between the mother and the father. I think if any one parent is aware of what they want to do and create in the dynamic, then the child can have a safe space to create the life that they want to create.
I would also like to add here that when people approach us for therapy, and at times, they are feeling the victim of the situation, and they are in a state of focus out there, blame on the perpetrator, blame on the situation. So their focus is doing whatever and changing the other person or changing the situation. And in that state, as we said, that in that state, the drama triangle cannot be altered. So in that state, therapy can also not happen until the client is ready to bring the focus back to themselves and saying that no matter what he or she does, no matter what happens to a in a situation, I can't control that, but I would like to control how I feel. Immediately, that client had jumped from drama triangle to the empowerment dynamic, and now the therapy can begin. Yeah. So usually a victim who's approaching the therapist and wanting to do something, they are bringing the therapist in the drama triangle and making them a rescuer. With that dynamic, no therapy, no healing modality, no counseling work, no understanding of the situation can help, because it is all going to go back to victim becoming even more victim. So even in the therapy, I think that's where our job begins. When a client is not ready to look at them, we first ask them about this dynamic, that how would they like to change and what would they like. So even therapy happens only after one is ready to come out of the drama, come out of their victim. Yeah.
Many times when we ask, the client, what is it that you want? They say either change the other person or change the situation. The focus is still out there. The focus is not here. So I think the first step will be to be aware that they say, you need to know the role that you are playing in your own story.
Yeah.
You need to take responsibility of the role that you play in your own suffering. I think if the quote is right. So that's, I
Uh,
think, the first. So I think, as Gayatri said, we would like you to jot down the areas where you feel you're at a receiving end of either the situation or the person or life or generally. And
Here, what comes to my mind is a subtle indication of victimhood, which at times is not recognizable to us. That victim is not blaming the perpetrator actively, has maybe submitted, but victim is waiting for perpetrator to change for them to make even a single move. For example, I want to do this, and my father is very strict. So he is not allowing me to start a business, for example. So I feel really helpless, and I'm waiting for a perfect day when my father will give me the permission, so that I will be able to do what I want. Or maybe I'm waiting for my family situation to settle down, so that I will have mind space to go and pursue my hobby. Until that happens, I can't change anything. So here, the victim is not blaming anybody, but they are submissively just waiting for the perpetrator around them to change.
And in such cases, no, what we have noticed is the victim does find a perpetrator in different people in different situations. Oh, I couldn't come for therapy because I wasn't well. I couldn't come for therapy. I had a situation at home. I want to. I can't. Because somewhere very subconsciously and very subtly, as Gayatri said, they are still waiting to see that things change at their end.
And our intention of sharing all of this is, if you become aware of your victimhood in this manner and you consciously acknowledge that, oh, this is what I'm doing in my situation, and I need to stop doing that. At times, even that acknowledgement and that conscious effort is enough. Because what comes to our awareness cannot control us anymore the way it was controlling us. So, with that, even if little bit of strength that comes to us with awareness, that can be then utilized to do something about changing the victimhood. So we are not saying that today you become aware and tomorrow your victimhood is going to go away. But what was now so far not in your awareness has now come to your awareness. So you can do something about it. And now the journey begins. So I think that's the whole intention. Yeah, are we good?
I think we can stop the recording over here and
Yeah.
take action.
So that we can start the sharing.